Hello viewers and welcome to another episode of She Power right here on WTV Kenya. I'm your host Linda Kruger. Now remember, this is the show where we celebrate women so that we inspire you as a woman and even a man out there to go and follow your dreams. Today I'm joined by Miyonga, photographer extraordinaire. Welcome to She Power.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have you here. I'm a very big fan of your work.
Thank you so much.
Maybe you can start us off with the question, why photography?
I just love the idea of capturing moments and being able to have them forever, like memories that last forever. I love that idea.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, you're a young lady, you've picked on a passion and you know you're following it all the way. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I fell in love with photography in high school. I did it for my GCSE, and I really wanted to come to Kenya because I'm half Kenyan, and I wanted to come back to Kenya from the UK and take photos of people and the culture, and that was sort of a and it was meant to be only for a year. I was meant to do that and then go to college or university or something. And I didn't bother to apply to college and university. And so when I went back to England, my mum said, why don't you just go back and start working? And I was so excited that it was my mum's suggestion. I didn't have to beg her. She encouraged me to sort of follow my dreams. So I came back and I've been working here since then.
Amazing. That's great, you know, that your mom was there to support you and ask you to follow your dreams.
Yeah.
Would it have been any different in terms of you chasing after your dream if she said, you know what, Poppy, no, stay here, do your university and college, then think about photography after?
I think at the time I was so passionate and so determined to do what I wanted to do, and very, very stubborn. I like to say less so now, but I was very, very stubborn at the time. So I think my mum knew that if she said no, I would still go and do it. I just would then not have that relationship with her, but the fact that she supported me meant that I could do what I wanted to do with that, with having that relationship with her, as opposed to then fighting with her or not being friends with her.
Okay,
so
either way
I don't think.
Go.
I think either way I would be here.
That's wonderful. So were you scared? You know, coming back to Kenya. You lived a long time in the UK.
Yeah.
You're coming back to Kenya,
Yeah.
and you know you're venturing into this new field passionately.
Yeah.
Were you ever scared?
I mean, I was 16, so I was very young and very naive and very innocent, and so I don't think people did ask me a lot, are you scared to go back to Kenya? And I just, it didn't click. I think I wasn't aware of all the things that I'm now aware of, so I didn't have the fears that I would if I was starting out now, because innocence, it was the beauty of innocence.
Okay, just after the dream.
Yeah, I knew what I wanted and I was going to get it. That was all there was to it at the time. So
Wonderful.
No, I wasn't scared, but I am sometimes now.
That happens a lot when we grow up. And maybe you can share with us, how did you get started? You know, for maybe somebody who's watching and they want to, you know, passionately dive in and go after what they want. How did you get everything started, you know, at that tender age, moving into a new environment?
Again, naivety. I used to just go out and take photos and post them and explore and and I was very lucky. I sort of got connected with the right people and did internships and got to know people and started work. Built a bit of a portfolio and a resume, so I had something to show when I told people what I did.
So in this case, you know, the naivety was working for you all the way.
Yeah.
That's
amazing. Blind innocence worked for me.
That's wonderful. And coming up to run Poppy Miyonga Photography as a young lady, and you know, I underline young lady. What was that experience for you?
Well, I mean, I don't know it any other way. So I don't know I don't have anything to compare it to say, oh, it was tough for me being a young lady. I've never experienced any sort of negativity or discrimination being a lady or being female. But I have for my age. I got that a lot when I first started. Oh, you're only 17 or you're only 18. How could I trust you to photograph my wedding? So there was a lot I had to prove. And that's taken a long time to sort of get over it. But once people, I just said, if you like my photos, you see my photos and you like them, why does it matter what I look like or how old I am or what I do in my spare time, you know? As long as you like my photos and I can deliver those photos for you. Age has been a bit of a issue, but just have to prove yourself. Yeah, those photos speak for themselves. Exactly.
That's very true. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Share with us, what was your first, let's say, paying job, photography job or gig?
I did, before I sort of properly decided to make the move out here, I did my first wedding in the UK, and yeah, I knew nothing about wedding photography, and I remember the night before Googling how to photograph a wedding and tips and tricks. And yeah, that was my first paid job, very poorly paid, but it was a paid job, and that was sort of the start to my portfolio for wedding photography. So yeah, that was years ago.
That's good, and it was a good experience, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Tell us about the photography scene in Kenya. We have what we call a lot of myths about photography, that you can do it only as a side job. You can follow it up as something, you know, that you can seriously take up and even get paid and make an impact with.
Yeah, I think because I sort of, it was my dream and it was my passion, I never thought of it as something that I would have to have as a side job. There was nothing else I wanted to do, so it was photography or nothing in my head. So it was photography. And I think in terms of living off it, if you charge what you're worth, you can definitely make a living. And I've had a lot of people say, oh, but that's so expensive, or oh, why would I pay that much for this service? And they always end up coming back. They go and get the cheap photographer and they don't get what they want, and then they come back. So if you know sort of what you're capable of and you're charging it, I mean, it's an art, you're charging what you feel you deserve. You just have to stand by that, and you can definitely make a good living out of photography. And I think lots of people know that. They're just scared to, it's a big risk to take, to say that's all I'm going to do, and if I only get 2 jobs this month, I'm going to have to survive off that. But yeah, if you really want to make it work, you definitely can. It's very possible. Yeah, and a lot of people do have a full-time job and then do that photography on the weekend, and that works for people too. So it completely depends. My strong passion was photography, and that's all I wanted to do. So I didn't think of anything else. But it's possible if you're the kind of person who can manage doing 2 jobs, or you want to. That's cool too.
It all depends on what you want, or what you're comfortable
I think
with.
So, yeah.
Tell us a bit about Poppy Miyonga photography. What you focus on? Do you work alone? And some of the areas that you specifically work on more than others.
I love portraits. I love photographing people. Because every person is so different. I find people so interesting to photograph. So I do quite a lot of family photo shoots and weddings and portraits or models, portfolios. And I love family photo shoots because I think that I don't pose families. I tell them to go in their garden and play around and have fun and photograph that, because those are real moments with your family, not studio photos of you sat like this or whatever. So yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm focused on at the moment. But who knows, I want to get into fashion photography a bit. I think that will be fun. And travel, I love travel photography and landscape. I do quite a bit of landscape, but not paid, sort of that's my hobby, I suppose. I love doing
That's amazing. That's very good. And talking about going back to the scene, the photography scene in Kenya, what do you think we can do to improve it? And can we call for more regulation, or how can we make sure that we protect our photographers and they're able to get their money's worth?
I don't know. I think things like not being able to photograph in town in Nairobi, I've struggled with that a bit.
You have to pay city council.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know the whole I don't really know the process, and so I've had police come up and say we want to arrest you or whatever for taking a picture of a person standing in the street. And to me, I think that's completely ridiculous. I mean, if you're photographing something and it's dodgy and you're taking pictures of official government buildings or something like that, I completely understand. But things like that make one feel very restricted in where you can photograph, and I suppose security as well just makes you restricted in where you can photograph. But there's some groups, even Facebook groups that where photographers have a bit of a community and can discuss things. And there's a platform called PAC, and that's groups of photographers or aspiring photographers who can come together and discuss and do events and group activities like that, so you can all discuss those kind of issues. And I think that kind of thing is really great for building in the photography scene in Kenya.
Bringing up people. And speaking about that, how can we encourage a bit more, let's say, mentorship for maybe young people who have an interest in photography, but they don't know exactly how to go about it or where their interest lies? How can we improve that?
I think groups like that are great for that, and just being open to discuss. I get a lot of people emailing me or inboxing me just asking for tips, or if they can do internships with me, or just to get some information, because it doesn't, for some reason, I suppose in the education system it's not really, like I studied in the UK and photography was a part of my GCSE when I was 15, 16.
Wow.
So that was something that was offered at school, but it seems less here.
It's actually not there in the 844 system.
Yeah, in the 844 system, exactly. There's not that art kind of department. So I think something like that, giving people the opportunity. I wouldn't have discovered my love for photography so soon if it hadn't been for high school, because that's where I actually
got your exposure.
Yeah, and I fell in love with it. So I think if it was incorporated into the education system, that would make a massive difference, because people would be able to explore it much younger.
Oh yeah. Would you mentor a young, if a young girl comes up to you, Poppy, I want to be a photographer, would you be able to go ahead and just mentor them?
Yeah. I mean, I had someone do that for me in terms of an internship, and that's where I learned the majority of what I know. So to me, that's so important, somehow even more important than sitting in a classroom and writing about it, because you're actually experiencing it and going and trying stuff out with the camera and seeing how people react to your photos. So yeah, I would definitely do that.
Amazing. That's great to hear. Now we're taking a short break. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Poppy Miyonga. She's been sharing with us her experience in going out and exploring and taking charge of her passion, photography. We're taking a short break. Keep it She Power on WTV Kenya. Hello viewers, and welcome back to She Power. For those of you who are just joining us today, I'm joined by Poppy Miyonga, the director of Poppy Miyonga Photography and photographer extraordinaire. Welcome back, Poppy.
That sounds so fancy. I love it. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Getting back into our discussion, and even previously off camera, we're talking about the use of photography and creating a positive impact in society. How can we have more of that, and how effective is it?
Oh, I think it's so effective, especially in the world that we're in right now, where social media is all over the place. You can't avoid it even if you want to. I mean, pictures are so powerful, moving and still images. I think it just needs to be documented more. I think it is now much more than before.
Oh yeah.
A lot is being documented, and that sort of nothing can be hidden in the same way. You can't hide things, brush it under the carpet, because people will find out there's a recording or there's a video or there's a photo or security footage or whatever. So yeah, I think actually the way we're going, it's already happening. It's people are using photos and videos to get justice and their power. I mean, aren't they? There's power.
Oh yeah, there's power in information, any form of information.
Yeah.
And talking about, you know, using photography to raise awareness.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the boundaries. You know, as a photographer, what can or should be, you know, depicted in a photo, and what can't? Because, you know, even on social media, we've seen some pretty disturbing photos and some pretty inspirational photos.
Yeah.
So what are the boundaries? Maybe you can tell us.
I don't think there are any boundaries, and I think that's what you've described. There are some really gruesome, actually, photos and some really inspirational photos. I don't think there is a line, is there? There are people on the front line taking photos of soldiers being shot and things, aren't there? So I personally, I mean, I would love to get into documentary photographer, but I'm a bit wary of it, just because of the risks that you take doing that.
What are some of the risks? Maybe you can share with us, because you know, being somebody who doesn't stand behind the camera, some of us don't get to see some of the things photographers experience. You know, there are all these emotions. There's joy, then there's, you know, sadness when you see, let's say, a woman being beaten down on the ground at a protest. Share with us a bit about that.
Well, not everyone wants to be photographed. So yeah, you're not always wanted, you're not always welcomed into a situation. Not everyone thinks of photographs as a good thing. So I think that in itself is a risk. You don't want to offend anyone, and you don't want to get hurt at the same time. But if it's something you're passionate about and you want to document, then you take that risk, don't you? So yeah.
Would you take that risk, you know, engage in some running battles, you know, take a photo and
yeah, I think I would, actually. Yeah. I think it would be worth it if it's something I'm really passionate about and the message behind it is something that I think is really important. Then I would do that.
Most definitely do that.
Yeah.
Every photographer has their own unique style, and we most of the time usually see this in your photos. We can see it as your identity. So when you're behind the camera and you know, you're taking a photo of someone, like, because you love portraits, what do you look for, and what do you usually want the photo to convey?
I always tell people to pretend that it's just me, and I try and make people laugh or feel comfortable just by chatting to them or making a bit of a fool of myself, so that they don't feel silly or uncomfortable. But I actually, in Kenya, I found rarely do I photograph people who get nervous or don't want to be photographed. People here are so happy to be photographed and love posing. I'm the one who sometimes gets nervous, not them.
Photogenic.
But yeah, I always look for the eyes. I always tell people to play with their eyes, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, as we wind up our conversation on this part of the interview, maybe you can tell us what's next for you. You know, what plans do you have, and how do you plan on using photography for a better Kenya?
So many. I really want to travel more, especially around Kenya, because I've lived here now for nearly 5 years, and there are so many places I haven't been, and I always sort of end up going to the same places on holiday or when I'm traveling. But Kenya's so diverse and there's so much to see. So I really want to travel around a bit more, and there's a project I really want to do that I'm hopefully starting in September, which is called A Day in the Life of, and I'm going to travel around and document different cultures, different families, different ways that people live, and just spend a day in their life and capture how it is to be that person, or try and capture how it feels to be in that person's shoes.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that's great. And where would you like to see the photography industry in the country, also in the next 5-10 years?
I would like to see it prioritized and respected. I think now people don't respect it in the right way. It's considered a bit of a flunk, or I could take that photo on my phone or whatever. So I think that there's a big difference between a photo taken by anyone and a photo taken by a professional photographer, and that's to do with your eye, whether you can see that moment or not. So I would like that to be appreciated, definitely. But I think it's getting there, and I think it will get there.
There's some improvement.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now we're done with this segment, but we're just about to get into our She Fun Facts. Welcome back, viewers, to She Fun Facts. Today my guest is Poppy Miyonga, and we're gonna get straight into them. So you're half Luo,
Yes.
half British.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So do you know what they call a calf in Luo?
Definitely not. No.
It's okay. There's some assignment for you.
Okay. I'll be on it.
When you're out on a shoot, what's the first thing that you do? You know, something that you don't, not everybody's seeing you do. What's the first thing you do?
I look around and I try to talk to people. So they're not like, who the hell is that?
So you try
engage with people.
Oh yeah. Amazing. So what is the craziest thing someone you were shooting ever did during the shoot?
Ooh. I don't know. People haven't really done crazy things. I'm the one who does like really stupid things.
Really?
I was at a shoot where I was doing corporate headshots and I was too short, so I had to stand on the table to take photos of everyone. So I'm normally the one who does like crazy silly things, not the people.
Not the people. So would you mentor a young girl interested in photography?
Yeah.
And how would you do it?
I would do little projects, I think, and obviously depending on how much she would know about photography. But I think it's so much more fun and you learn so much quicker by just going out and doing it. So I would just go out and do it.
Okay. All right, I like
Take her with me.
So what keeps you going, you know, on a day-to-day, and when things are up, down, what keeps you pushing?
I do a lot of exercise and I do yoga every morning. I think exercise is like my therapy and my meditation, because I just get really, really into it. That's what really brings my mood up, actually. I always feel good after a workout.
Wow, that's very interesting. Exercise to keep you sane.
Yeah.
Describe your outlook in life in 6 words.
6 words. Changing. Happy. Positive. Interesting. Educational.
Okay.
Definitely. And fun. I think life is so fun if you let it be.
Okay. That's very interesting. All positive. Some answers we get are very, very dim.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And here we go, my favorite part. You are going to repeat this tongue twister for us 3 times, real fast.
Oh my god, this is so hard. Okay, can I say it slowly first?
Yes.
Oh no. Send toast to 10 tents. Stout saints, 10 tall tents. Okay, I can't even say that faster than that. That is so fast. That is so hard, rather. Send toast to 10 tents. Stout saints, 10 tall tents.
You're almost there. I think we're getting there.
Hard.
No.
Okay. Send toast to 1010, stout saints to 10, 10 to 10.
The T's and the
I think
S's.
that's the best I can do.
I'll
That's
give you a
really
B
hard.
plus. I'll give you a
B plus. Oh, score. Yes, I'll take what I can get.
Amazing. Great.
That was so hard.
Thank you so much for popping in, Poppy.
Thank you for having me.
We've learned quite a great deal from you, and we do wish you all the best, as you continue aspiring to be a greater photographer. Continue following up on your dreams.
I will do. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been She Power. I've been hosting Poppy Miyonga, photographer extraordinaire and director of Poppy Miyonga Photography. This is She Power. We celebrate women who are doing exceedingly well in whatever field it is that they specialize in, and we hope you have been inspired to also follow up on your dreams. I've been your host, Linda Kruger. Keep it WTV Kenya.